Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the grand finals of the CC. We got Kaesden versus Alex. I've got Leoria and me and DM on comms. I'm going to track, so I'm going to shut up and let you listen to them. All you.
Hey Tom, thank you for the intro. Leo, good to see you. It's been probably a hot year since we've done this together, this whole commentary in a tournament thing. It was a Kaesden game last time. It's a Kaesden game again, but I'm pretty sure last time was groups, and this time we're talking Grand Finals Challenge Cup.
Yeah, I know that this is definitely going to be a series of finals with these two runners. They both are former main tourney competitors, and just with the incredibly competitive qualifiers this year, they both ended up here in the Challenge Cup, but they didn't let that stop them from gaming, because here they are in the finals. I know we were talking before, and in the bracket stage, I believe alexjas only having taken one loss in the entire bracket stage, but I believe going 6-0 in groups. Kaesden, on the other hand, has 3 losses coming into this match from the bracket season, and I feel like 5-1 in groups, but I'd have to go back and look, and I honestly don't remember.
5-1 in groups seems right for Kaesden.
Yeah.
And Alex lost his only loss of this tournament thus far to a runner who I faced in the group stage, Iconic. So, Kaesden, who put me out of this thing, Iconic, the only runner in this tournament so far to give Alex a loss. I'm feeling pretty good about the way my tournament turned out after that, even though I got put out in bracket round 1. But the last round we had for the semifinals, Kaesden, Darkened Sky. We had the all Dark Link matchup. Now we have Dark Link, regular Link matchup for the final. Kind of a weird... Oh, hey, look, we've got fake half magic in the sanctuary. LOL.
Boo hiss. Best item in the game gone. Man. But that's okay. But we do get the diversive start. I know, on Kaesden's side, I know he does like doing this, sync start, not just to get, to CAC sooner, but he likes being able to set up these tree poles. He likes to be able to set up a tier 1 as well as a tier 2 or 3 while getting all this information.
It seems to have worked out well enough for him so far. After all, he made it to the finals doing it.
Yep, and so there's our tier 3 in full magics. Actually better than half magic in this seed keck.
Well, it would be better if he'd started at the house and gotten that blue cane that Alex got, but, well,
True.
He'll get there eventually.
Always kind of a terrifying thought when you see just that little itty bit of red on Lumberjack. Mm-hmm. You don't know, is this going to be a red rupee?
That better not be Hookshot or Samaria.
Is it Hook? Exactly! So many bad things it could be. Alright, so Kaesden has gotten his 1 kill to set up for tier 1. Gonna be picking up this $20. Alex, meanwhile, totally fine rupee-wise after pulling 3 hundo from the Uncle chest, I believe.
It's not really one of the main advantages you're looking for from going and doing the Uncle start, but it's not a bad consolation prize when you still need 100 rupees to pay off the bottle vendor, and still no bombs in evidence.
Right, and this is something Kaesden's been doing quite a bit lately, where if he gets no bombs and really, honestly, not enough money, he will end up saving and quitting after that tier 1 and come to Kakariko from the south, taking the time to get a bomb, maybe 2 from south of Grove, from those 50-50 checks.
My only problem with that is I find they're more like 20-80 checks in favor of not seeing bombs on them, so every time I try this, I wind up dumping copious amounts of time into trying to get enough bombs to make this worth my while.
Yep, not wrong. And honestly, we see Kay is trying to get some kind of drop from these guards too, and just nothing is going his way with it. That 2080, you're not wrong here.
Yeah, we're now 2575. And it's a thing, it'll even back out like that, but sometimes it can take 6 or 7 attempts to cause it to start equaling out, and at that point you've got maybe 2 bombs and 6 screen transitions, and yeah, you're not feeling so good.
No, and, you know, I kind of like what Alex ended up doing over here. Like, he skipped out on Blind Hut and the well for now, opting to take his copious amount of cash and pay off the bottle vendor who just, you know, gave him a 20% return.
And sometimes when you do this, you look at the couple of checks south of the village and you say, those are just gonna have to wait for later because I don't want to slog all the way down and then all the way back up and then kind of continue on with all of that nonsense.
Right. So, did I, and my eyes just kind of like had a moment, like what was that on library, if you don't mind?
I didn't even see it.
Okay, cool. That makes me feel better, actually.
And I'm expecting that Alex is not going to show us, so.
No,
It gives you the advantage if you don't want to go back down there, you also just get to save and quit out of the back of Blindside Out and not do a whole bunch of additional walking around and screen transitions and staircases and everything. Yeah, I would be completely unsurprised if he decides that whatever shows up in here is enough and it's time to go to South Shore or Saha's Closet or something.
Well, and I'll be curious if getting that 300 that Alex just got from Blindside, if Kaesden will end up climbing back out to go to Bottle Vendor. Oh, okay. I thought it was something like that. I was like, that was out of the corner of my eye. Like, I didn't immediately recognize it. It was Silver's on the library. So,
okay, and yeah, I'm wrong. Alex is absolutely going to go, well, he's going to check the bottle, and now that you're checking the bottle, I guess you're kind of in a position where you can justify going the rest of the way. Hey, nice ice rod.
Nice rod. Yeah, fun quirk of open hard mode is that, non-progressive silvers, right? Non-progressive bow, I should say.
Just one actual bow in the pool, and likely, yeah, we've got Crystal Eastern Palace. We're gonna have to find it.
This is true. And, you know, in a way, it's kind of nice that, you know, Eastern's a crystal, like, you're not gonna have to hunt and say, like, GT for it. But also, like, where there is only one, who knows where it can be. I must have missed that Kaesden already talked to Bottle Vendor, but that's fine.
Yeah, he came out of the well with 105 rupees, I think.
Gotcha. Alright, well, we do have Alex going down here to the South Shore. I have to imagine Kaesden's going to be right behind going down this way, but what I'll be interested to see, you and I both know at this point, Kaesden is very much a fan of Dam to Agina. You know, are we going to see Alex do something similar? Or are we going to see Alex do what I think we'd consider a more traditional route and do Dam to Mini Moldarm?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Kaesden, I guess, has become a little easily metaable in this circumstance, just because he's been doing exactly the same thing in these open modes, but thus far, I don't think anybody's been willing to take him up on what is a little bit of a gamble, but it's a gamble in both directions. Sometimes you're just otherwise going to leave something sit there that you may well need that'll make your life easier, so...
Yeah, and honestly, I would be kind of intrigued to see what Kaesden does after Agina, because I could easily see him, especially with his bomb situation, taking... Oh, hello 50 Rupee Cave. I could see him taking that glove and doing the back of Escape.
I was thinking as well, you're definitely not walking back out of Agina's closet anyway. You're probably just going to pop the save and quit. And as soon as you're doing that, why not just go check out the back of Escape really quick, see if you get a sword or something.
Yeah, something to make Mini Moldorm Cave just a little bit easier to deal with. The one kind of bummer thing is because of Kaesden's bomb count, like, he's kind of putting himself in a position of like, do I take the time after, doing 50 Rupee Cave twice, like, do I buy bombs now? Do I hope I find some elsewhere? Like, who knows?
Yep, kind of a tough spot to be. We've got the Ice Rod Cave check, and Alex is going to walk back out, so this has to be the fake flipper, because Zora's in logic with the glove. You're not really going to leave that behind, necessarily. Although without the Moon Pearl, there's not a whole lot you can get out of this at the moment. The splash deletion equipment is also kind of lacking. Yeah, tough to say.
Yeah, because this is going to be something where, with this fake flipper, we can't do anything as far as Waterfall Fairy goes, right? Like, there's no Moon Pearl, there's no boots, like... It's going to be interesting. Well, there's bomb money for Kaesden, so that's not a concern.
And a red cane, so now Mini Moldorm Cave is free. You just use your copious amounts of magic and drop a block or two and let the Moldorms run into them.
Yep. This is the way, and honestly, like, Kaesden's in a good place. He'll be able to use one cane to kill the Mini Moldorms, and he'll be able to use the other one to keep himself upright.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Alex seeing the 20 rupees there on Zora Ledge, not anything you're going to have to worry about.
No. And I will say, like, I'm gonna be very curious to see whatever pushes Alex back into this area again for Waterfall Fairy. Like, is he gonna try to possibly combo it with Catfish, Or is he just saying, like, it's dead to me, I don't care about it, it's gone forever?
That's one of those that's kind of tough to say. It's relatively easy to get to if you ever get a flute and the flippers. You can just kind of swing by really quick on your way-ish to, say, Ice Palace, perhaps?
Yeah. And see, that's a good one, too. You just pop into the portal, then right back out, right? Like, just to go to Ice, and there you go. At this point, though... it's kind of looking like either Front of Escape or Eastern areas our next progression. I think that's literally actually all we have left that we haven't seen.
And it looks like Alex says, yeah, give me the density.
Mm-hmm. Well, and at this point, between...
because I think we may only have one item, maybe... no, we may have 2 items left in Escape, because I think we haven't seen Map or Small Key yet.
Right.
And we have no logical access to Dark Cross either, so you kind of eyeball that. How much do you really want to go in there when you've got 3 in Saha's Closet, and then 2 to 3 more in Eastern, one of which may be out of logic?
Yeah, and I gotta point out, Alex hopped down... Hylia Island was our flute. So that's gonna be a thing. Hello, Hammer. We have a smashy.
Okay, Hammer Glove. The seed needs to show you the Moon Pearl. Could just be in Eastern, could be in the Front of Escape. And it seems pretty likely that Kaesden's going to do Front of Escape here compared to Alex because, well, when you dirty uncle route, then that's just another reason that you don't really want to be back in the area.
Well, and Kaesden also knows, with that Ice Rod, killing the blue guards in here is absolutely, like, a non-issue. For whatever quirky reason, the blue guards in Escape die immediately to the Ice Rod. They don't freeze, they just poof.
which is convenient because most of them also hold keys that you need.
Very true. And yeah, Alex is diving eastern here. And there's the Moon Pearl, so that's Dark World access. And yeah, he's leaving. He's out.
Alright, I've seen this play before, and sometimes it works, and sometimes you get super punished because the next check is the Fire Rod. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because I can't imagine that he's going back there until the bow shows up.
See, and it'll make me wonder, you know, what will Kaesden do, right? Like, is he going to peace after the Moon Pearl too, or is he gonna go ahead and say, yeah, no, I'll keep going. Why not? And our pendant's just all along the south.
Interesting layout. So we have a technically flipperless seed, barring something being within swamp, of course. Like all of the swords. It could just be all the swords in swamp.
I mean, you know, that's one of the memes that does in fact exist within this game. Then again, we've already kind of busted up, you know, one of the memes. Hey, there's the bow. And a bug. Well, hello, Hype Cave. Well, Ice Rod would be kind of rough to be in Left Side Swamp, considering it's already in their inventories. Ooh, now that's an interesting point that Garrison brought up. Something hover seeds.
Yeah, it could be. Of course, we don't know how many boots yet.
No.
Kaesden eyeballing that flute on Hylia Island now.
Well, and
of
what's
course,
interesting is
Mire area is the Mire's a pendant, and the book is in with Johnny Two Bombs. So
that's kind of desert right there. Once we get some kind of fire. Which, is not here on the pyramid, but I approve of picking up the boomerang for no other reason than for the stun prizes.
It's a nice thing to have, especially when you don't have a sword. Sure, most of the time you probably just want to walk around with the hammer, but sometimes that boomerang will really pay off for itself.
Well, and an interesting thought here, that blue boomerang is actually going to be helpful for Alex coming into Dark Pod. Right? Like, you can use that as a bit of a guide to try and, like, gauge yourself, especially in the dark maze.
Yep, it's got some value. It's certainly faster than something like hammering around. Now, alternate strategies include dropping bombs, sticking arrows in walls. There are a lot of options. You can put down a Samaria block. Samaria block's pretty straightforward.
Alright, now this is going to be the big question mark. If Kaesden takes this Moon Pearl in pieces, or if he keeps going. He is going to keep going. So, you know, if there's anything here, it's potentially big, but also with having that bow, I don't think it's as huge of an advantage as it could have been.
Yeah, the bow was simply too easily accessible for anything coming out of here to be all that game-changing.
Right.
The real question is, does Alex happen to pull the mirror out of Pod? Because as soon as that happens, not bailing is going to just not work. And now, so Kaesden went and did the one chest that's always going to be kind of out of the way and then bailed. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I actually really do like this because in the grand scheme of things, you're not really losing time by keeping going because you're automatically letting your next dip of it be to the left. You don't have to do that track over to the right side. Now, will he kind of follow Alex here and go ahead and do hype to the east and go straight to Pod? Or is he going to go ahead and say, you know what? Pod can wait. It's a dirty crystal. There's not going to be anything in it anyway. So we'll just go to the west.
feel like the lure of it is just too strong because it is a crystal. It's the kind of thing you have to beat eventually anyway. Who knows? Maybe the big key's just hanging around in the back in the dark maze. You're going to wind up full clearing the dumb thing anyway. Yeah.
True.
It is a little difficult to say no to that. Now, by the same token, of course, you could always just go do Hammer Blind. Why not?
Imagine doing Hammer Blind when you have the Burna. Please. But also, Magic being what it is right now, but then again, we could do some tier 1 shenanigans. Like, that'd be fine. We'll say, these Buzzy Beetles are, not the kindest.
And yeah, never mind me. Kaesden went immediately west.
And honestly, it could just be because he doesn't really have anything to help guide him through the dark. Well, hello.
Well, just go to Pod. You'll get what you need.
Speak it, and it appears. So, Alex making the call, or the right call in this case, you know, just go to Pod. Get your light source, because that's also potentially desert for Alex as well.
Barring a requirement of boots, then
Yeah.
you have to think the runners are hoping those show up eventually anyway with the silver arrows on the library.
Right. Now, I'm intrigued by the decision to go through Hellway, and I'm assuming it's just to be able to set up the hammer jump from here in the bottom, but I'd be tempted to do the just go through the top of Dark Maze and set up the Death Warp, especially with Green Mail, and not a huge amount of hearts. Like, a Death Warp's not too bad.
Yeah, tough to say.
And Alex kind of checking to see he does still have the compass in play, which it turns out will be on the boss. So only actual, like, progressive item, if you can really call it that, in Pod is the lamp. But that is currently our only fire source, so pending what might be on Landmo? Oh, did he live Big Key Chest? Just kidding. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, he does still have 2 keys, so yeah, I assume that what's going to happen is he's going to clear the boss and then he'll go back to that if he needs to.
And I wonder if that's why, now that I'm thinking about it, why he opened Hellway, because he looked up and saw 3 keys.
That's entirely possible.
Well, there's our mirror over here in Chess Game, so when the inevitability of Kaesden going over to Clear Pod happens, he'll be able to mirror and just do Eastern right then and there.
It does leave him with kind of an unenviable K45 check in Tillin unless he finds Mitz over here somewhere.
Yeah. Which is kind of never fun, like, when you've started to do a Dark World, like, section, and then you get mirror after the fact, and you have those isolated mirror locations. Like, well, doesn't feel very good, but I have to imagine, like, if he wants to check it, like, he'll find something to combo it with. Alright, this Helma fight Alex is making it look easy, but trust me when I say, like, these up hammer hits are anything but easy.
This is basically the vanilla equipment set, except no sword.
Yeah. And well done. Took a couple little hits, but really, truly, like, he cleaned up. That was really, really well done as far as a swordless green male helmet fight goes. Swordless and bootsless, for that matter. Then again, you wouldn't be able to... Hello, Thunder. You wouldn't be able to do any sort of spin speed.
With no sword and no hook shot to do a hook speed instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it looks like Alex is gonna go ahead and go finish off Eastern. I do like this, knowing that he left after getting the Moon Pearl. Like, he knows there's 2 more items in here, and it's a crystal, like, might as well just finish it off, right?
Yep, plus you found the lamp and pod, so logical to go get the boss, logical to get whatever's in the Vanilla Big Key location. It's kind of tough to turn that down. Now, it's going to work out a little better for Kaesden, who found that mirror already, so he's going to be able to combo those back-to-back without the additional run over. But,
right.
Yeah. Right now, it does feel like we're 24 minutes in. Both runners have made very mildly different choices that have given them advantages that the other runner doesn't have yet. That's where you want to be in a race when you're 25 minutes in, right?
Yeah. No, we've had some good divergence. We've had, you know, an exciting kind of series of events, like where Alex is up a crystal on Kaesden. You know, Kaesden has the ability to clear 2 crystals quickly, whereas Alex has to, you know, kind of walk a little bit more to be able to clear that second crystal sort of deal. Like, just little divergences that, even though they'll eventually get funneled, I feel like, towards the same place, it's going to end up being a, I don't want to say this, like, it's going to be interesting to see, like, how the being ahead of Crystal versus being ahead an item plays out. Roots are hard, dude.
Yeah, speaking of items, Kaesden with the small shield in blind cell, the small key appears to be self-locking in the big chest, so no need to be concerned, had the hammer forever.
Yeah. Yeah, the little bit of information that would give is that blind and anything behind blind is hammer locked, but considering we have the hammer, it's nothing.
And the big key for Eastern appears to be vanilla.
Yeah, and, you know, that's kind of another good thing of, like, not just picking up that bloomerang earlier, but the situation with the lamp being where it was. And there's our first sword on blind.
Alright, video game, if you say so.
Freaking gross, dude. I mean, a nice reward for completing a swordless blind, but also gross. That's so rude.
And you have to wonder at that point, if it occurs to Kaesden, well, now the Dark Maze and Pod just got a lot easier. That's a little more appealing than it was before.
I think that he'll head that way next. I could totally be wrong, but I could see him heading that way next just because now he has a way to guide him through the maze, and that's 2 more crystals he can get. Like, I have to feel like he's gonna ABCD this and always be clearing dungeons.
Do you think he scopes out the front of Skull Woods here and then does the Northern Dark World loop, the current jump, and then kind of sweep on through?
I could see him doing that, especially with Bo. I could see him hitting that splash delete into the waterfall, and then picking off Zora, saving and quitting from there, and then go. Lamp was in the turtle chest a pod, or what would vanilla be the compass chest? Pretty sure I missed it, but I think that was the big key, yes? For Skullwoods?
I was watching Alex's hammer strats in the back of Eastern.
Yeah. Or maybe just another small. Nice quick kill. Not one that I've seen kind of done from the side, but that's kind of the, like the Ice Armos version. And there's your mitts, my Indium.
Okay, so the mitt's somewhere over here on the western side of Dark World. That's not entirely uncommon.
No, and I think though now, like that kind of throws another decision to Kaesden, you know. Do you go ahead and do Smith Chain down and get K45 and hold off on Graveyard? Or is this Lure of the Cape strong, and that's kind of what we're seeing now? Nada.
Yep, nothing there.
Right, and he is going for Graveyard Ledge, so as far as what those mids open up for him, he's basically saying, no thank you, I will pass for now. But an interesting point, after getting those mids from the front of Skull Woods, Alex will have the mountain available to him. Oh.
This could be an interesting turning point. Kaesden is a firm believer that it's never ped.
Yeah.
And it's
He'd
never
be right,
ped.
Missy. It's never ped. And rip.
And it's one of those things, it's one less reason for you to have to worry about finding the flippers, finding the hook shot, maybe Kaesden for sure doesn't care. Kaesden would be absolutely thrilled if the hook shot just kind of never shows up and it's never needed.
Yep. Honestly, yeah. As long as he gets boots, though, right? Like, he wants his boots first. And then the hook shot can never show up. I had a moment, my Indium. I had a moment of, Alex, why are you picking up all the bushes?
Because he hasn't
Aren't
beaten
we using
blind
our
yet.
sword? Yeah, no. That was just a dumb on my part. Whoops. Oh, man. Alright, well, Alex is gonna get his mirror. Probably have a moment, of, well, I could have comboed Pod and Eastern, but whatever. We're just gonna keep playing our game. Alright,
Yep, have to think we're going to see the splash deletion here.
Yep. I was gonna say, that third arrow was on the slow side. Here we go.
I would dump a Samaria block on the ground. Makes
yeah,
life
he
a
just
lot
dumped
easier.
dumped a couple bombs. So there you go. Something messed up his Ancilla, but he was able to reset it by dropping 2 bombs in the water, and there we go. His bomb count's a little bit on the Monka side now, but you know, it's fine. Oh, boo his game!
Game says no.
Okay, look, more bombs.
Yeah, and it's not actually dropping 2, it's trying to drop 3 in quick succession, thus such that only 2 can actually be dropped.
Oh, I meant for resetting the Ancilla.
Oh, yeah.
Or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, huh. Today I learned.
It has to do with some ancilla nonsense where you're changing the slot to be what you want it to be by doing shenanigans with things. It's the same way with shooting some number of arrows or using some number of lamps. Technically, maybe the direction that you lamp in can matter depending on how many lamps you're using, question mark. Ancilla are weird.
I was gonna say, like, I felt my eyes glazing over.
Mine sure do.
All that was like, oh no.
No, Structural Mike tried to explain this one time when I was listening, and I just kind of went, I'm just gonna, like, save and quit and get my values reset the easy way.
Uh-huh. Yep, okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I won't lie to you, dude. Alright, so we do see Kaesden heading over toward Pod Eastern. If he was going just straight to Pod, then going through the 5 portal would be faster. However, because he did Catfish, he's going to go ahead and get the Pyramid first, and therefore going in through the portal south of Link's house is faster. And Alex, as I was saying that, like, was giving me a little bit of a heart attack in the Hellway.
Yeah, the cricket's more than happy to do 2 hearts of damage. It's a thing.
Yeah, no, they are no joke, dude. Like, oh, what a convenient refill, dude.
Timely refill.
Alright, that's one of those refills where, like, at first you are, like, dodging very carefully through those cricket hallways, but then you get that refill and you're like, I'm walking with my head held high, I'm feeling great, we're great, let's go. You know, dare I say, my Indium, as they're kind of going in each other's footsteps here for a minute, dare I say that we should be encouraging our fellow viewers to go and follow these guys?
I'd say it's a good idea. Alex, a large member of the Francophone community, if you are a French speaker, you can also get commentary in French. I don't remember exactly what channel they've got that tucked away on, but I certainly do hope that you'll continue to enjoy us. Kaesden is Kaesden. He's 6-1 in the AdKeys tournament at the moment, playing in the grand final of the Challenge Cup. A notable hover, sub 90 NMG runner. There's a lot going on there too. So by all means, do not miss out.
I had to giggle. Kaesden is Kaesden. Like, that's not the most accurate descriptor.
Well, who else are you going to compare him to?
I mean, no, that's just it. He is his own person. I suppose if you could compare him to someone, you could compare him to Darkened Sky, but that's really just because they're both Dark Link people.
Yeah, Darkened Sky, admittedly, in one of those post-game interviews, more of a glitched mode runner. Kaesden, a little less of the glitched mode side of things. Tends to go in more for that NMG style of play.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so, Alex is not touching the front of Skull Woods here.
That is a little unfortunate for him. It's not exactly gonna work out. It had looked like he might be in a scenario where he was going to be the one, and still will be at this point, to show us what's in K45, but not with any kind of a Smith or Purple Chest in tow.
Yeah, and I will be interested to see, like, this K45 could be kind of huge, because I don't know at this point, unless he goes specifically for Smith Chain. Like, I don't know what pushes Kaesden back over there. It's nothing!
Yeah, $20. And if you're an Alex partisan, you were probably hoping to see Fire Rod there, because once you've made that decision to skip the front of Skull Woods, you're kind of saying, well, I'm not going here until I've got the Fire Rod and I can clear it out. So, yeah. I'm not sure when he gets to those mitts. Now, the mitts lock out so much that eventually that's going to happen, but the possibility definitely exists that he just goes up and does Light Mountain first.
Yeah, and honestly, with that lamp, I have a feeling like that's going to be his next play after Eastern, you know? You go. I'm kind of excited here, actually. Like, I'm excited to see Alex very likely dipping Desert here. We're going to find out if it's boots locked. We're going to find out what's here on Bombo's tablet. Like, this is going to kind of be some fun information.
0 for 2 on book checks, but again, it lets us into Desert Palace. So, yeah,
right.
We'll have to wait and see just a little while longer. Now, the possibility, I guess, also exists that he doesn't want to dip in yet without boots. I feel like at this point you have few enough things that it's becoming more difficult to justify that kind of play.
I think that's what this Agena check before the Desert dip is. I think this was the, well, if boots are here, then I'm golden sort of check, right?
Yeah, that's reasonable. I do like that check before going into Desert if I don't have all of the things to be able to clear it, especially if I'm only missing one thing to clear it.
Right. Desert Ledge is nothing. Man, if there's nothing really here in Desert, or if it is boots locked, like, I have to imagine, like, our mountains gotta have not just one thing, but, like, several things at this point.
Well, we're starting to run low on several things that we need. What are we really looking for? We're going to need a medallion to get into Turtle Rock.
We'll need a fire rod to beat Skullwoods and TR.
Yep. And we'll need one more sword.
Yeah. Okay, there is our small key. So right side at least is not boots locked. Depending where this big key is, dungeon itself still could be. It's kind of gross, but it can happen. Alright, so we are not boots locked here in Desert. So what is on the torch today? Is it simply a map or compass?
Probably a map or compass.
Yeah. Survey says... Oh!
Ooh, okay.
Okay, game. Well. That's, I'm still kind of processing that, I feel like.
That is, in fact, a thing that can be there, but... When do you justify coming back?
Man. Last locate? Honestly,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
even
don't...
once you get the... Even once you get the boots, unless you get the flippers or you want to go to all the trouble of water walking that flute, getting back in here is slow.
Yeah. I will be... I'd be surprised if, like, we're still looking for Go Mode, we get boots, and Alex heads back this way sooner. Like, I just feel like that's not... I don't want to say not a reasonable play, but I would be shocked by it, or surprised by it.
Yeah, it would be an unlikely play for sure.
Right. Now, I will say this. If you get Mire area, like, if we do get flippers, and we grab that flute that's on Hylia Island. Like, I could see that being a reason to come back and just grab it. But
yeah, definitely. If all of a sudden you get the convenience of getting in, you can pair it up with all of the mire checks, you just grab that shovel while you're in the area. That, I think, is really the use case for getting that before last locate.
right. So, mitts are in the front of Skull Woods, which Alex has not done yet. When he went into the Dark World at VOO, he went ahead and did Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town, and then went south from there with his mirror. So, has not done that, whereas Kaesden had done his first trip in the Dark World, Hype Cave to the west, ending at Endgame. That kind of pushed him into Skull Woods and then across the north over to Catfish.
And now we'll see we're kind of turning north already. This is looking like a light mountain play from Alex.
Yeah, and again, no mitts. Like, that's gonna be honestly an advantage to Kaesden.
Yeah, and this could be strangely dangerous because what if, and this is very much a what if at this point, what if Alex finds both the flippers and the hook shot on Light Mountain?
Oh. I mean...
And then you're staring down the possibility of something like a fire rod being in Swamp, but the medallion you need for Turtle Rock being on Dark Mountain?
Right.
That's just kind of disgusting all the way down.
You're not wrong, dude. Ugh, and rude dead rocks.
That, I believe, is their raison d'etre. Their entire reason for being just encapsulated in that one moment.
Man. I don't know what happened in the past to make the Goron so, like, angry of a race. Instead of their cute, cuddly, just want to smother you in a boulder of hug. But now they just want to smother you in a boulder, but not of a hug.
Oh, you haven't seen the hug version, have you?
I don't know if I want to. Well, no, I know what you're talking about. I think that's just
you can't get out. You can't escape anymore.
Man, okay, so when that does happen, it is such a feels bad because you're just sitting there like, I can't move, dude. Help!
You can spin in place, though.
It's a great point. Alright, so, Ether Tablet's nothing. I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say this is our Light Mountain play from Kaesden as well, so he's gonna be pretty much right on Alex's tail here.
Yeah, the difference being Alex has that desert clear already, and
Yeah.
Kaesden will get over there eventually, and maybe it'll be a little more convenient. There are a lot of long straightaways in there. Maybe the boots are up here. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Kaesden did not find the second item in Skull Woods, so there is one that is fire rod locked. Whether that is, Moth drops the big key and the big key, or the big chest is the item, or, it's just back there on Moth.
There's nothing quite as terrifying as getting lag frames on this floor of Tower of Hero when you're trying to spin/set up for that bomb jump.
Yup. It's like you just watch the the little bit of starting to slide. It's like, oh, I know how this is supposed to work, but oh god. All right. We've got a dead worm here. And that's our second item, so no need to do the basement, thankfully. That's crystal number 5 for Alex.
That's all well and good, but right now he's locked out of both of the last two, by the fire rod in one case, and by the fire rod and a medallion and the mitts in the other.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like if there is a hookshot over here and there's anything within Hookshot Cave or even already just Super Bunny, like this could be a game changer. Oh, goodness. You know what's always funny?
What's that?
That. Oh god, I was literally gonna say what just happened to Alex? So I was literally about to say, like, when you had to walk all the way through Spiral Cave only to get the boots.
To get the boots at the end of it? Yep.
Yes! And then he opens it like that. The thing that just happened. That thing. Oh man. Okay, so way back when, as we pull quick medallion here too. Way back when I first started randoing, like 2018 for a little bit, Plandos were like kind of set up with like a theme in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that I played, and I think I still maybe have saved, oh god, there's the flippers, was one that was called After the Fact. And it was basically a Plando all about moments like that, where you get the item that would have really helped, but after it would have been nice. Like the sword on blind, the boots in Spiral Cave, like things like that. Silvers on Biddy. Yeah, that's another great example. Exactly.
That's a good one.
Like, man. So, I do like this, though. I do like taking these flippers on Alex's side, getting this flute. You know, getting this mobility. It's also going to push him back into the Kakariko area. We may see him go ahead and do Front of Skull Woods here.
Yeah, he also did pull the powder, so it's another thing, both the flute, the powder, he's got a couple of checks in that area, and then we'll see.
Yeah, and again, I'll be very intrigued to see what Kaesden ends up finding on Dark Death Mountain, because he's gonna clear all of Dark Death Mountain at this point. He has boots. Like, Hover Cave is non-issue at this point. One thing I don't know, and this is just from not knowing Alex very well, I'm very curious if he does hover. Like, if he had the mitts first time up, if he would have done hover for Hookshot Cave.
That much I don't know. And Alex is going to go ahead and get into the Dark World here, so looks like he may be landing on the mitts in fairly short order.
And you know, that flute, like, that's Meyer area now for Alex when he does get this set of mitts.
Ooh, and that's interesting. Quake was not the required medallion for Turtle Rock. We need Bombos.
What if Meyer is Quake?
Wrong red thing, game.
Not wrong. Like, well, your comment is not wrong. The item is still wrong. Again, words are hard, dude. Man, that Barry just did not want to die.
And Kaesden definitely wanted it out of the way because here comes the hover.
Yep. I was gonna say, I could tell that that just wasn't happening there. This is looking a lot better. Whole lot better, yeah. Alright, there's the mitts for Alex. And hello, Jesse and Jesse's Raiders. Those of you just joining, we are in Game 1 of the Challenge Cup Finals. Kaesden versus alexjas2. Hookshot Cave being nothing of note.
Whole bunch of junk. I have to think that he's going to go ahead and have a look at Spike Cave before he leaves the mountain. And then choices have to happen.
Choices do in fact have to happen here very shortly. Smirk, I'm gonna make a comment here because I have to meme. Hover and mitts. Complete time waste. Mitts unlocked red ring. Jesse, you heard. Red ring's a time waste.
And alexjas with those mitts with not a whole lot on the table going to do Smith. Oh my.
Oh shit.
Okay, game.
Oh my god, dude. Well, I have to imagine after just doing Hookshot Cave and hovering it, that Hookshot kind of is a little bit of a really game. Really. But also, again, oh my god, is this that Plando, dude? Like, it's... There's so many questions. Okay.
I understand going this direction. I'm wondering if Kaesden's going to go ahead and push that into Swamp. Because it feels like he's probably going to, even though you could instead go and get the flute and backdoor into Desert, which is a crystal that you know is now fully completable for you. And then also pick up Meyer area things instead. But it looks like he's going to go in the front door.
Interesting. Yeah. It's looking like this is... Oh, hey, look, Master Sword on Magic Bat. You know, and thing is, this will also give him Shovel for the dig spot thing, where, Alex wasn't able to get that earlier because he didn't have boots. This level of divergence has just been wild to me, dude.
And it's kind of funny because we were talking earlier, both runners were main tournament last year, and it feels like when you watch a lot of runners play this game at the top tier, it's almost like the same person is just piloting both of them, and it's just little bits of execution that make up a time gap over time, where they tend to do exactly the same things at basically exactly the same times. Well, these two main tournament runners from last year, finals here this year, and once they got into the Dark World, they could not have chosen more different routes if they'd tried.
Hey, my Endium. Remember when I said, what if Myers Quake?
Yeah, so about that whole Meyer being Quake thing.
I have mixed feelings. So many mixed feelings. And he is gonna go in. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, and from Alex's perspective, you're thinking, well, maybe I have my boots and my Quake medallion so that I can go into Meyer and get my hook shot. And that's not the way it's going to play out, but it feels like Rando likes to lock one of Boots and Hook behind the other in Meyer more than it probably should.
Right.
So when you're still also, you know you're missing, well, he doesn't know he's missing Bombos, but thinks maybe I'm still missing a medallion, knows that he's still missing Fire Rod.
Okay, can I just shout out how that's a really, really nice way to do Meyer 2 when you don't have beams and you don't have Fire Rod? That was really well played by Alex. I really like that. Like, yeah, I kind of want to steal that. That was really nice. We do have a Godmire, but I mean, it's a pendant. You're in here looking for, in Alex's case, he's looking for several things, but, you know, realistically, I think we're just missing both sets of remaining fire for Go.
Yeah, and not only that, but Alex is the one who's read the pedestal and knows that clearing pendant bosses just for pendants is not going to pay out at all.
Stepped away to grab a quick drink refill, but you know what really would have helped with this Landmo fight? Stopping by the library. Yeah, a little bit. If he dies on this, I'm never gonna let him live it down. Okay.
So that evens the crystal count back up, and neither of them have an accessible 6th or 7th crystal. So, here we go. Alex just already working on Meyer. Kaesden's gonna have some choices to make.
Yeah, like, Meyer's not a bad play at all, but I think Kaesden dropping the portal where he did here, like, I think that we're gonna see this is the right call. Like, I feel like the seed is screaming, go to Swamp.
$20 rupees and cutscene chest of Meyer, not any kind of the red thing you're looking for. And Kaesden is going to bypass Swamp.
Grab that flute, maybe?
Yeah, I think he has to be getting flute. There's not really a whole lot else over here. He doesn't have any kind of a melt source. He can't go into ice yet.
I do have mixed feelings about getting this flute first, but I also get it. Like, I understand it. He might be kind of yelling at himself slightly about, like, I should have gotten this sooner anyway, but this is looking to be like a flute into Hobo, then back down to Swamp. Oh!
Alright, that's a thing.
That's important. But for Alex, what does that give him? That gives him ice. That's it.
Gives him ice. It gives him however much of Turtle Rock the game will give him.
That's true. That is true. But I mean, yeah, and I'm kind of with Kirby. Like, I feel like Rule of Fire is kind of what the next plan is, but I'm very intrigued, to say the least. Alright, so if you're Kaesden here, after doing this flute activation, are you going to the mire area, or are you doing Smith Chain down to Swamp?
I feel like I'm already in the area. I'm gonna do Smith Chain down to Swamp. And the thing is, that can still have an answer, but we know that somehow Kaesden needs to get into mire eventually.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is like, I feel like if you do Smith Chain into Swamp, I feel like all that leaves you after you beat Skull Woods is mire or ice. Like, you're picking one of them.
And if the Fire Rod's not in Swamp, then you have to pick mire because, again, we've got the Bombos in mire, and Kaesden with the immediate flute here, so not going to do Smith Chain. This is the mire area play.
I'd be hard-pressed to see him dipping mire here, though. I think this will just be these 3 checks. I think it'll be Mire Shed and not K45, Checkerboard, and then he'll leave again. It's hard to want to dip Pendant Mire for nothing. Like, for 2 checks,
The thing with that is,
nothing.
You're really down to pick a pendant right now, though, and one of the pendants is completely off the table.
Yeah, that's a good point. And yet the other pendant has, 6 checks and is being screamed at by the seed, so it's hard, right? Like, I feel like this is a situation of neither really feel like a great answer. And there he goes. Yeah, I was kind of afraid that was going to be the case, but I'm also not... Knowing him as well as I do, I'm not shocked.
First check ice, just that small key, and nice convenience item.
Very much so. Smirk did bring up a real great point here.
Yeah, like, the Fire Rod kind of needs to be behind that hookshot at this point for Kaesden, because otherwise it just feels like Alex is on the track of, I'm going to continue looking in dungeons for the things that I need, and that's gonna be the next place he goes after this.
Right. This is actually really nice routing for Kaesden too. Picking up the Smith and then mirroring to grab the silvers. Hookshot was in Spike Cave. Also, good job realizing that he needed to be on the left side of that portal, otherwise he was going to mirror bonk onto the rocks. This is best of 3, and this is game 1. So, this will be a good, like, this is just already, like, this is going to be a really good series, dude. Like, Like, this is what you would want from a finals matchup.
Kaesden getting that sword off of the bat, that'll even the swords back up. Now, you kind of hope to find another one here somewhere, but 2 is what you need.
Yeah, and with the silvers, like, Master Sword Ganon still sucks. But at least it's not silverless.
In some ways, I feel like the silvered fight with Master Sword is actually more difficult.
Honestly, I kind of agree, dude. Like, it's low-key kind of hard.
I feel like you bounce back a little further when you're on Master Sword for whatever reason, whether that's true or not, and because you have to spin, it just feels like the timing works out better for it.
Alright, now I have not been paying attention, truthfully, on Alex's side, but I have to imagine, knowing the level of runner he is, like, he's not just killing Cold Stare for nothing. Like, he knows this has to be an item at this point, right? Like,
I would have to think so. I saw 2, so
right.
If there was a third one, I missed that, but we know that he knows Pet is dead, so this has to be something. And it's something, but it's not much.
It is something. And he is saving and quitting. He doesn't want that pendant. Which is good.
Why sit through the cutscene? You know it doesn't do anything for you.
Right. And yeah, Ice Palace was absolutely nothing, dude. Okay, so here we go with the swamp play. And on Alex's side, I have to imagine you go ahead and you dip the first chest of TR after doing what you can on DDM.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting bit of checks for Alex, and this is also where we'll learn whether or not Alex is a hoverer, because definitely not going to get that hook shot before going into Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with this decision right here, though, to do what you can over here first before you go into TR. It's looking like that's a no. I have to imagine if you were... I don't know. I had to imagine if you were a hover, like, I feel like you would do Super Bunny first to see if it would save you the time, but I don't know. I feel like if you don't have Hookshot, Super Bunny first is the safer play, whether you hover or not. I don't know. Okay, we have found both map and compass here in ice, or in not in ice, swamp, forgive me. Which means left side does have some items, but Kaesden's seeing if this hook shot is gonna pay out for him.
Yeah, the density is back here. The possibility that your opponent has not yet landed on the hook shot and what you're looking for is back here. And now that big key is just more incentive to kind of wait and hope.
Right. And, oh, and there's our tempered sword. There is still one more sword out in the pool somewhere, but I mean, depending on where Firewood is here, it's possible Alex doesn't get it. And he did get a small key from the first chest of TR, so he's able to keep going here, man. And there's our big key. We are locked.
All right, at least it's a relatively quick lock. You come in, you've got a couple of things out of the way that you don't have to worry about opening later, and you know what I'm looking for is not here.
Wow, dude. He has been practicing that shit so much, and he got that 0 cycle Argus. Oh, I know he's got to be feeling good about that. Alright. So, Alex is gonna get his hookshot here. If you're Alex, do you go back over for a hookshot cave, or do you say, screw it, I'm going to swamp? Like, I don't know what the best choice is.
Yeah, I'm... like, looping all the way back over to Hookshot Cave is kind of terrible, but with that location, you know that it's kind of terrible for your opponent as well. How are you feeling
Right.
about the way the rest of the seed is gone?
Yeah. Well, and, like, you saw, like, there was that pause there, right? Like, after, Alex, you know, picked that up, like, not, like, super long, but there was just that moment before he hits select to save and quit, where he's like, really? Okay, game. Cool, I guess. Thanks. You jerk. If it's not left side swamp, the only thing I think we have left at this point is green pendant turn-in.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Because we know ice is empty. We know Meyer has a big 20 and Bombos, which is required. The rest of Turtle Rock is locked by Fire Rod, and the rest of Skull Woods is locked by Fire Rod. So, yeah. But, man, I still feel like we see Kaesden do Ice Palace before he does...
Before Meyer?
Before Meyer, yeah. So, I gotta say, Alex has an advantage here, having dipped Meyer when he was there. And there it is, Fire Rod left side swamp, but Kaesden's gonna finish this and go to Skull Woods hoping for, you know, what it is, but at that point, like, like, you know?
Yeah, at that point, you're playing Pick a Pendant, and what do you want to follow? The Fire Rod that you found that lets you into Ice, or the things that you've had for a while that lets you into Mire?
Yeah, and that's what's hard is, like, that's your first, that's your first set of fire to be able to get into ice, right? And how locked that was. But does Kaesden realize that, or does he chase the density of Ice Palace over the item sequence that pushes you more really to Mire?
And of course, it's nice when you're sitting there and you're kind of looking at the seed from the 30,000-foot view, and you can say, well, I remember this, that, and the other thing. When you're down in the guts of it and you're playing the seed, it becomes really difficult to remember that. Also, Alex just going to do left side swamp first, so he's going to land on this go mode very shortly.
And be down a sword, though. that's the other thing is like, yeah, he's getting this fire rod, but that tempered was in the back of swamp. Now, mind you,
One more
again,
in the pool. It could just be on the way to your GT Big Key. That possibility exists. It could be the other item in Skull Woods, for all we know.
yeah, I mean, and that's just it. Like, we're probably gonna have that information from Kaesden here shortly. Like, if we see a big 20, like, it's entirely possible. Like, that's what we got. But big 20 could also just be I'm saying big 20, green 20. Or are they switched to green 20s in open hard? I honestly can't remember.
I think so, and it looks like Alex is at least going to check this other check, hoping for a sword. The sword you're looking for is in here, but it's not there.
Correct. And there's our second Skullwoods item, 300 rupees. So
300 rupees is not the replacement item. That is not a sword.
nope. And Alex is in go mode at oh god, I didn't look at the time, but we'll guesstimate 118.20 something. But again, down that sword, there is still one more. Kaesden, this is the decision here. After you do this ped check, are you going to ice or are you going to mire? Or are we going to green pendant turn in? Well,
okay, green pendant turn in. It makes sense. You went to the trouble of getting it.
yeah.
So we'll put off the decision just a few seconds longer.
Alex, to get this magic here, I would have been tempted to just hammer the peg right by the portal and bonk the tree for the full magic, but oh, I feel juked. I feel jebaited.
Yeah, he definitely made it over to 7 before deciding that 8 was where he wanted to go.
Yep. And thing is, he's gonna end up full clearing this because the last item is on Cold Stare.
Now, Alex is in a bit of a spicy spot here, and we see him using the refills from this room because he was down to 3 hearts.
Now, I believe we saw him buy a blue goo earlier from the potion shop, but even still, like, it's not something that you really want to use. Oh man, and he's just getting bullied right now. It's not so much that Kaesden's behind on checks, per se. I honestly think, like, I think Kaesden has checked more than Alex, but Alex just happened to make the right pendant choice. Like, he dipped Mire. Mire was the answer.
And then he did left side swamp before going to the back of swamp, and left side swamp was the answer. So again, and chose not to go and check front of escape ever, which Kaesden eventually did.
Yep. Like, I think if we put, like, post-race, like, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say post-race, when we see their collection rates, Kaesden's will be higher than Alex's. It's not a guarantee, but I would certainly think so. Because, you know, he's done all of the back of swamp. He's done the front of escape. Like, on our end, on the commentary booth side, when we're seeing the streams, we also see the racers trackers. And Kaesden streams with a map tracker on there. And there's literally 3 green squares left. Ice Palace, Mire, Aga Tower, which is obviously not the answer.
And Alex went and refilled on potion, heading for that 7th crystal now, Turtle Rock.
Yep. And there very well could just be a sword in here, right? Like, there could be a sword in here in Turtle Rock, and Turtle Rock's not exactly one of those dungeons that gets hugely better when you're in go mode. Like, you can skip a couple of checks, but not a lot, honestly. Like, you save yourself some pipe transitions.
Yeah, it's one that gets a little faster in true go mode in, say, a full key sanity situation where you can walk in with the big key and all the small keys. Then you get to start talking about actually skipping things. But no, in something like open heart surgery here, where you still have to find all your small keys and your big key, and remember, Alex just has found one of those small keys and the big key already.
Right.
There's much less go moding that gets to happen in a scenario like this.
Shout out to Beam Strats there on Kaesden's side. He did not have a full bar. He had to do some beam dupes to be able to take off the shell for Cold Stare. So off to Meyer he goes. Mandium, do you think that he's, like, in his own brain, like, yelling at himself, like, I should have just pressed left one more time at that flute. I should have just...
I could have just dipped this when I was here earlier checking the overworld checks. That's
Yeah.
the thought that I would be having.
Oh, man, dude.
Once it's down to 2 in Mire versus 3 in Ice, it feels like it's a little faster to get at things. You've got to sit through this cutscene to get into Mire in the first place. One of the items might be, and in fact is, in Mire cutscene chest. There are a lot of things working against Mire when it's just Mire versus Ice, and you're just sitting there 3 versus 2, cutscenes versus not. Yeah, at that point, you can't really blame yourself for going Ice over Mire. It's really that earlier decision point where he decided to come check the Mire overworld and decided not to dip in at that point. That's the one, at least in my brain, that I was saying, man, why did the game gave me everything to go in here? Why didn't I just do it?
Well, and man, that's what gets really hard, because, like, I don't blame him for not at the time, you know? Like, he had literally, like, there's 2 items in there, and you have Smith Chain and Green Pendant Swamp, and, like, I get it. Like, I understand the decision, but it still feels bad, right? Like, there's no denying that.
Meanwhile, Alex is taking advantage of that powder. Not only did powder lead to a sword, but he was down to 2 hearts here, and, well, when you've got some anti-fairies handy, that doesn't always have to be the case.
Right. Now, I will say, I would be surprised to see Kaesden do cutscene in this case, but I've been wrong before. He's proving me wrong now, unless he's just grabbing this magic. Cool, dude. Continue to make me a liar. Nice job, teammate.
Alex is still missing a small key, so he is going to wind up on Laser Bridge. Once you're on Laser Bridge and you're still sitting on Master Sword, you probably check all of it, hoping that the 3rd sword will fall into hand, because menu Trinex, not really fun.
No, and with no half magic, because open heart surgery, like, it does not allow for half magic. This is a pretty tricky fight, honestly.
It's one of those where it either goes really well, or as soon as you miss once, just John Madden, the lines go everywhere, and you have no idea what the outcome's going to be.
And yeah, you called it. Like, he's going to go ahead and just check these last ones, and there is no sword here. Could be a sword on Trinex, but it's certainly not going to help with Trinex. Alright, so Kaesden getting his go met at 127.51. He is basically a mountain climb and a TR behind at this point. But that, man, the sword is still a thing though, because even Master Sword, like GT climb, feels gross.
Alex is getting through the beginning of this pretty well, gets the bop from Trinex. Now he's going to have to kind of worry about when the main head's going to come out. All right, he's going to get that dodge.
Yeah, that was good. He was waiting for it. Oh my god, dude. All right.
He did buy a blue first. He was fine there. The larger danger would be if you wind up on Master Sword. How are you going to replenish that? Because it's GT next and then Ganon.
Right, exactly. And you don't want, he definitely doesn't want to use that blue goo before what's coming up here. And there we go. No sword here.
I just saw Kaesden get into his menu, and he has a red potion in that bottle.
From where he had filled it up at Waterfall Ferry.
Yeah. I had just forgotten what that refill was, and he does still have it, but it won't refill your magic, which I feel, particularly in this mode with half magic being unavailable, is by far the more useful resource.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I meme a bit, but, like, I legitimately feel like half magic is, like, the best item in the game. Or the best safety in the game, rather.
Best safety in the game, I would agree.
Like, it's so good.
Well, maybe second best safety after the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess in my brain, like, I consider the Tempered Sword, like, technically speaking, like, it's supposed to be required to beat Ganon in the vanilla game, but also... yeah. Alright, so, by the way, if you were throwing numbers into chat, it's the GT Big Yesy game. We're looking for this big key. So far, first 5, nothing.
Yeah, getting the classical Wayne route or modified Dark Magician from ALXjas2 here. There was a small key in Hope, so Hope Riders would have had some hope here.
Yeah, and we'll see here what ends up happening. Like, if this big key is over here, like, I'll tell you right now, like, I know Kaesden's GT route. He does Hope, and if he gets a small key, like, he goes right, so... Alex being very conservative with his magic, which, again, in his situation, like, that's a really smart play.
I feel like, especially in scenarios like that, when I have silvers, I'll just go ahead and silver other things. In that room where he used that fire rod shot.
Okay, so nothing on that right side. So somewhere over here on the left or Bob's chest or behind Ice Armos. I won't lie, I've kind of lost count at this point, but...
should be 11?
Sounds right. So this is 12 coming up here. Nope. Alex did get silvers, yes. You can see that at the top of his screen where the arrow symbol is not brown anymore, but it is kind of a whitish silver with red fletchings. And there's a tempered.
Yep, sword right in the way. There you go.
That's exactly what Alex needed.
The comfort level is just so much more with that.
Oh, 100%, dude. I believe that was 15.
15.
Sounds right. So, if I'm looking right, closest without going over, would be Mystic Dummy at 13.
Ooh, and the mimics are in the magic prize pack, so that's another little handy happenstance for Alex there. All of a sudden has the full magic going up.
Yeah, that is good.
I'm not sure who all is in the mimics and Igor's prize pack, but maybe he knew that. You definitely kill a few of them over the course of getting through Eastern and Pod.
Man, can we just talk about how the gauntlet is rude?
Yeah, no, the gauntlet is definitely stealing some of Alex's health away here. Going to sacrifice the Landmo timing for some more hit points. Can't blame him.
No, I don't blame him either. And honestly, with how quick he got it, it's not that far off of this timing. He just, unfortunately, that bottom Landmo gave him a quick hop, so...
And not only a quick hop, but in the opposite direction of where he needed to go.
But a quick 2 cycle, we'll take that. And did I call it or did I call it? I straight up said Kaesden is going to go Hope Room and he's going to get this small key here and he's going to go right.
Shock and amazement. There he goes.
Yup! Although, at this point, it wouldn't have surprised me for him to go ahead and just make me a liar yet again and be like, you know what? For today, Leo, screw it. I'm changing it up. Oh no, Alex! What happened, dude?
I think he came up short on fire rod shots and then didn't change to lamp rather than trying to eke out that last one.
Right.
I don't think
Still, though,
I don't think he unintentionally fell off, although I guess he could have.
Yeah. Because, yeah, that's definitely... You can reach that.
I forget what all of the different pixel lengths are for the lamp, and they're different. They're not all the same.
No,
the shortest of them is 8, and I want to say the longest of them is 15 or 17. 8 is probably facing down. This game is weird.
Bubblegum and paper clips.
Yes.
Alright, we do have Alex going into Aga 2. Kaesden's still trying to find this big key. Here we go. Let's see what patterns we get today. I'm not certain if that counted as a true double or not?
That almost had to be a true double.
Yeah.
I think he moved
So
too
2-2?
much for it not to be 2-2.
Right. 2-2-1? Yeah. Alright, so 4 cycle Aga 2. Not too shabby. Kaesden getting his butter sword. I mean, green 20.
Yeah, very technically, you probably could have pulled 3 out of that, but I feel like that's the kind of pattern where you would have had to know it was coming.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, it's kind of hard. Like, I feel like getting a 2 out of that is honestly what you would be hoping for at that point. Nice shroom. And, Ganon's spitting straight snail facts for us.
Alex not getting the 1 cycle phase 1, but the very convenient spot to 1 cycle phase 2, as long as you've got tempered or better, just sit up there against the wall and double spin him until he stops.
Yep. And going ahead and just being extra safe there and holding onto that wall with the cape on while the fire bats flew past him. Holding onto the wall when you've got the cape, it stops your magic from draining, which, again, a really nice bubblegum and paperclip moment for this video game. Alright, sword is up. Get your GGs in chat for alexjas2 as he takes game 1, finishing with a race time GG time of 1:39.42. And according to his tracker there, a collection rate of 154. And I believe we're joined by both of our runners. Because stream delay. GG, guys.
GG's.
Hey, GG.
So, you know, I know we've got, Kaesden, you're still going through here. Just made it past lane mode too, but overall, in general, I'm curious y'all's thoughts about the seed because holy crap, did you guys not route at all the same? Like, it was fun to watch, but lord. But yeah, just general thoughts about the seed. And we'll start with you, Alex.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. How did we manage to get a 1-4 seed yesterday and now it's kind of last located everything? And I'm like, oh well, I hope the hookshot shows up because, like I said to him, I can mold on bounce, but I'm bad at it. So I didn't want at all to do it. So when I found that hookshot, I was like, okay, it's a Swamp Palace play. And I really hope it's behind the hookshot. But it was not. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But, well, yeah, it was terrible.
So, have you gotten to hear, by the way, where the other sword was, by chance?
Not at all. I found the third one in GT. Was there another one in the way, or?
Not so much in the way, but definitely hookshot locked. It was in the back of Swamp.
That totally makes sense, yeah.
So, I know, Kaesden, when you went in, you went to the back first.
Yeah.
Like, hoping, I guess, for Big Key to show up, right?
Yeah.
So
well,
that-
partially hoping for Big Key to show up. Also just playing into, I just found the hookshot, so kind of hoping that hookshot's required at that point. And just based on that, like, I'm going to do the hookshot checks first because it's locked behind more.
Right. And honestly, like, that makes complete and total sense. And it was something that for a while, like, that sword, that tempered versus master difference, like, while not a, like, massive thing that late in the game sort of deal, we knew, like, for Ganon, like, that could be a difference. And then, Alex, when you pulled the sword from Fire Snake Room, it's like, okay, well, there goes that that difference. Like, that's exactly what Alex needed at this point.
No, for sure. I wanted that sword, of course.
Yeah.
But well, I can do Master Sword for sure. But it's always preferable, right, to have a third sword.
Yeah,
Right.
nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you go in, you're not going to go full clear looking for that third sword. Maybe open a couple extra checks on the climb, but if you have to do the Master Sword fight, you're going to do it. There's no way around it. So
Yeah, exactly.
doesn't make it
So-
fun.
I am curious, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I want to hear your take on it, Alex. What prompted you at the time to go ahead? You had just done Mire Shed, you had done Checkerboard. What kind of pushed you into Mire at that point when you did have a bunch of things that you had kind of skipped? Like, we still had Front of Escape, we still had water checks. Like, I'm curious what pushed you into Mire at that point.
It was suspicious that I had one medallion, and that's the one that I needed for Myra. So I was like, well, let's hope something is in there. So find Bumbos. I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm gonna do Ice Palace. I don't know why. Just going independent, using that Bumbos, and Ice was pretty much nothing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just too suspicious that I had one medallion and it was open. So I thought, yeah, why not going in there? I didn't want to do the boss no matter what, even if it had one items on it. But fortunately, there was nothing. So
And that's kind of what I figured too. Like, it kind of became a situation where when when Kaesden, who just finished on Restream, GG officially now, but it came down to, like, when Kaesden was at that point, he had to choose between Mire and Ice as his last dip to try and find Bombos.
because he had Fire Rod before.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So it's kind of a situation of, do you follow your fire that you just got, but it was so buried in the seed for the density of Ice Palace, or do you do what you had done much earlier and follow the kind of item sequence, right? Where the seed gave you the things for Mire, so go into Mire. Like, and that's never a good decision, because that kind of just boils down to either could be right. Like, and that's just what Rando does. But
For me, like, I find Fire Rod and it's like, I'm looking for Bombos, and I had that exact choice. Like, pick a pendant. Both of them
Yep.
make a lot of sense. Ice has 3 items, Mire has 2. I guess we'll go for more items, and yeah.
and that's just it. Like, when it gets down to that pick a pendant sort of deal, like, it's never an easy decision, I think. And I think you both, or at least I hope you both would agree with that. Like, that's kind of what makes this game really fun, is to think about, like, what pushed it to one way or another. Like, that early Quake and Samaria, and yeah, we can get into Mire here. That pushes that Mire play, like, into the spotlight a little bit, especially with how late your fire access to Ice Palace was.
No, agreed, and it was the only thing I got into my head, so I can open it. There's something in there, no matter what. I hope there was something, so I find Bombos, and I'm not even sure it's gonna be a good thing. But when I saw it on TR, I was like, okay, that was a good play. That was lucky.
Right. Oh god, and that's another part. Like, you pull something like that out, and you're like, I have no idea if this is even required. Like,
No, exactly. Doing Ice Palace right behind that, I was like, okay, this is useless. I don't need that. But then finding that on TR, that was a relief.
I have to imagine, man, like, I didn't even think about that at the time, because yeah, that's exactly it. So I know that this is game 1. You both are previous main tournament runners, and this year just with how freaking ridiculously competitive the qualifiers were. Like, we're here in Challenge Cup, but we're in the Challenge Cup finals. I gotta say, this was exactly what I would want to see in a Challenge Cup, like in a finals matchup. Like, this was a hell of a race. You guys absolutely killed it. Needless to say, I am super stoked to watch the remainder of this series.
Oh, for sure, and thank you so much for you guys to always doing that. I mean, restream is always fun to have, so taking your time to do it's pretty much appreciated.
Let's see, I feel like I've been talking nonstop. My Indium, did you have any questions or anything to add on? Because I feel like I'm monopolizing the time here.
I feel like we've covered the majority of the things. I guess the question that's going to be on everybody's mind out there after seeing a game 1 like this, when's game 2, guys?
It's not gonna be soon. I know we got some holidays to go, so it's probably gonna be in 2 weeks or something. So a little break will be beneficial, I think. I mean, with 3 turnings at the same time, of course, good to have a little break.
So we get this teaser here now, and then have to wait a couple weeks till after the holidays to finally kind of get that moment. So thanks for that, guys. We're really pleased with that.
Anytime.
Yeah, timed out perfectly.
But I guess with that, I want to just shout out again, thanks, of course, to ZSR for, giving us this platform to be able to showcase this amazing race, and really throughout the Challenge Cup tournament. I'm absolutely thrilled to get to be a part of this, and to just, man, like, this is exactly what I would want out of a finals matchup. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I keep saying it, but it was a damn good race. But if you haven't already, folks in chat, go give our runners a follow. And as Alex said, he's in, I think you said 3 tournaments, so having a break from one of them for a bit is a good call.
Agreed.
So, definitely give them a follow to be able to keep an eye on their tournament shenaniganery, and give them some support. And also go ahead and shout out my co-com, my Indium. Go follow him. He plays video games, and he's good at them. Plus, like, he's got that smooth, calm voice. It's good. Listen to him.
Yeah, I do that thing. I feel like more people drop by for the voice than they do for the gameplay. At least I certainly hope so, because otherwise I have questions.
Come for the voice.
Stay for the questionable gameplay.
But also, one final shout out to our tracker and restreamer today, who I'm about to pass this over to, Tommeltalk. I really hope that I pronounced that right, but
You're
I'm
good.
just going to say Tom. But thank you for putting this together, especially after doing some fun baking earlier too.
No, thanks to her. She set it up. I just kind of sat there and watched it.
Well,
But yeah,
either way.
Thank you for giving us a great race, to both of you for coming. There is a mini blend Wind Waker race later on tonight in about 3 hours, which will also be on ZSR1. That's the only other thing on the schedule for today. So what I'm going to do is kick you guys over to Solski, who's doing a Link Between Worlds randomizer. And I hope you all have a good day.